Roomtone Podcast is a show produced by us, three movie nerds shooting the shit while talking about shooting the shit. Each episode builds upon the last, so we recommend starting at the beginning. Now, let's make a movie.
Austin, would you like to try a traditional Middle Eastern candy fruit nut?
Yeah.
Yes. I would like to try.
Oh my God, he just pulls it out of his pocket. How cute.
Wow.
I actually don't think they grow in the Middle East. I think they grow in... Wait. I don't remember where he said they grow.
This is called tamarind.
Can you show me how to eat it?
I can.
It's fun. It's like a game.
For those who can't see, I'm holding a slightly phallic, oblong...
turd-looking object.
It's like if a peanut was grown underwater in space.
What a horrible description.
Thank you.
Very accurate.
In space, I don't get space from that. I get like the deep earth.
It looks like it looks like a clay potato.
Perfect, but smaller.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like if you're doing claymation and you wanted to like have it like sprout or whatever, boom, right there.
And inside
he's just ignoring us.
Is a nut.
If you crack it open, there's these little seeds surrounded by a gummy texture. If you want to just break off a segment of that, avoid the roots. You can pull it out a little bit and break off a chunk of that. So you end up with kind of a gummy chunk.
Yep.
And then
truly is.
And so when you eat that, think of it like a cherry because there's a seed inside.
Okay, so don't just go balls deep.
There's a pit.
Don't just chomp that.
Okay. Doesn't really have a flavor.
Really?
Yeah.
I feel like they're very strong.
What an interesting reaction.
Interesting reaction. Isn't the texture interesting?
It really is.
Like, it's crazy to think that that's a naturally occurring substance.
Yeah.
It's so, like, gelatinous.
Have you guys ever thought about growing them?
Yeah. I thought it would be fun to plant the seeds.
Dude, you just get free candy.
Yeah. Candy from the trees, dude.
The tamarind was really good. I have to say. Although I don't know what exactly I tasted.
It's
like I can't put it in a description. Honestly, it reminds me of Mexican candy, if I'm being honest with you.
Yeah, I totally see
fair.
that. Like it's kind of that like sour sweet with like a hint of not spicy, but like I could see chili powder kind of like
a little hit of chili P.
A little hit of chili P.
Yeah.
Shout out to my boy Jesse P.
Yeah.
But yeah, I thought it was good. I give that 3 tamarinds out of 3 tamarinds.
Ooh.
Yeah, and it is a flavoring in a lot of stuff, so I would imagine that like a lot of Mexican candies use that because it's a big flavor in like Indian
I wonder.
food.
That would be so funny if that's exactly what it is.
Probably.
You know, it might fucking
Actually,
yeah.
I'm gonna look that up.
It probably is.
Tamarind.
Mm-hmm.
And it is native to Africa. It grows on the tamarind tree.
Isn't that what I said? Didn't I say Africa?
Is it?
I think so.
Maddie gets
I thought I did, yeah.
All right, Maddie gets the point this round.
Yeah.
It totally is.
Well, that would make sense.
That makes a ton of sense.
So now you know where it comes from.
Yeah, that's... Oh my God, it's literally giant pilon... Yeah, cut that out. No.
I love when you have an accent. It makes me happy.
I am not confident in my Spanish. I need to get back to Duolingo. I gotta listen to the owl who's putting a knife to my throat.
Dude, he literally is.
Yeah.
To learn Spanish.
He tracks you down in your home.
¿Dónde están los bibliotecas? Yo no sé.
Yo triste. Yo triste.
I'm one of the few Mexicans who don't know Spanish, but I need to get up to date.
I'm like 4 days away from my year streak in Duolingo.
Congratulations.
That is amazing. And so and tell the audience, what language are you learning?
I'm learning Danish so that I can impress Mads Mikkelsen with the fact that I know basic Danish.
Hell yeah. So does the owl give you the knife when you do it for a year?
Yeah, I hope so.
And now you're putting in people's...
And now you can threaten other Duolingo users.
Yeah, they're really amping it up. Now they have like tournaments.
Ooh.
I'm trying to get in the diamond tournament.
If this is me putting you on the spot too much, let me know. But can you say like a sentence in Danish and let us know what it is?
I'm glad you asked because I wanted to.
It's always so hard to just think of a sentence. Like, it's hard to just pick a sentence out of the air.
Can I give you a sentence?
You can try. It's like very basic.
Okay, that's okay because I don't know any Danish. So you could literally say gibberish and I'd be like, oh.
Right, but I would like to actually be able to like know how to say it. Okay, yeah, give me one.
I left my chocolate bar.
Simpler.
Simpler than that. Chocolate bar. Who the hell do you think I am?
I don't know.
Also, it's probably just chocolate.
Chocolate boy. Well, I don't know. I mean, that's like the Danish like staple.
The cat is chasing the mouse.
All right, let's do that.
All right, set the scene for us. What's happening?
What?
The cat is chasing the mouse. That's what's happening.
All right, I'm in.
Katten luba musen.
I thought that was good.
The cat is chasing the mouse.
That's it's like 3 words.
Yeah, I like that they add the and the is just one word.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, so is the.
But no, I mean so girl is P.
Yeah.
And the girl is Pian. So you just add an N.
That's
and
so
then it's
interesting.
A plural is peers. So like Pigers.
It's like the girls.
Is girls.
What's the girls?
The girls is Pierne.
Holy shit.
Pingrne.
That's so cool that you're learning another language, dude.
I can write it and read it so much better than I can speak it.
Yeah,
but
that's fair.
My mom sent me a video of Depeche Mode playing a concert and the subtitles were in Danish. And I was like, oh my God, I can totally read the lyrics in Danish.
My God,
which is pretty cool.
Badass.
It's just I've never been able to do that before. That's
cool.
It's such an interesting part of the brain to just unlock.
Right. Eventually you're just like, yeah, I know what that means.
Yeah, yo comprendo.
So you know Danish, right?
Yeah.
What would be the next language you'd want to learn if you'd want to learn another?
Oh, shit.
Probably Arabic. Just because I think it's so pretty to write and look at. It is very pretty. I agree. And because it would make my dad happy, I guess.
Yeah. Shout out to Papa Samir. I know he listened to episode 1, I think.
Oh, God, I hope not.
Well, he followed us.
No, he's not a part of this.
Leave him out.
He is not interested. It's fine.
Arabic's such a pretty language, though.
It really is.
Just to hear people speak it, it's so... bouncy.
Yeah, I feel like it seems like there's so many less words in their vocabulary.
Yeah.
It feels like a river.
Yeah, they always kind of start and end what they're saying with the same words. Which is interesting.
Cool.
My dad says mashallah a lot. I don't know what it means, but he'll say I think it's maybe thanks or nice or cool or whatever.
Yeah. I have a question for the two of you.
Let's hear it.
If you could, so are you all familiar with the idea of astral projecting?
Mm-hmm.
Is astral projecting you being conscious while you sleep?
Not necessarily. I would the most basic way I can think to describe it is your brain and your thoughts and your mind being able to leave your physical form. So your thoughts, it's the feeling of leaving your body.
Theoretically, as far as I've picked up, when you're able to separate essentially your spirit from your body, you're able to explore and go beyond where you are. And so
people talk about going to the pyramids in their mind, basically
traveling the world and all kinds of stuff.
But yeah, it's basically just a deep meditative state that allows your spirit to leave your body.
You enter another level of consciousness.
Yeah.
How does one accomplish this?
I have a book about it.
What?
You want to read it? It teaches you how.
I wouldn't mind. Yeah.
Deep meditation.
I've only been close to doing it once.
Really?
I could literally feel myself lifting up out of my body, and then it the feeling just made me lose my concentration immediately.
Yeah.
So it's you have to be able to push past that shock factor of literally feel you're coming out.
Can I see that book?
I remember, I think this was a tutorial on astral projecting. I don't remember. It was a while ago, but from what I remember, it was kind of laying down flat on your back and entering a state of meditation to where you to where you're in your own mind and in your own breathing so much that your limbs and your extremities kind of start to go numb and you kind of start to separate yourself from your own body. And then if I remember right, it was kind of pretending to reach your arms up above you and grab onto an invisible rope and pull yourself upward. And so it's not moving your arms, but it's like envisioning your body doing that and like feeling that like muscle control that it would require to kind of do that spiritually. And the idea was if you were able to like accomplish that fully enough, you'd pull yourself out of your body.
I like that.
Mhm.
So is this like your spirit is traveling the earth, or is it like like your own world? Is it like a dream state, or are you like...
I don't know. I mean, people describe it like they like go places, that they could like walk through this apartment and like go into the house next door, like an omnipotent force.
Yeah.
But like, I've never experienced it, so I can't like say, but imagine how fucking gnarly that would be.
Yeah, totally.
It would.
I think it's like a layer of consciousness spread upon the layer that we're currently on.
Mm-hmm. Interesting.
So my question for the two of you, if you could astral project, what's the first thing you'd do?
I'd just go to like my cottage in the rainy woods.
Go find the right cottage.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just enjoy it.
Or just like not even I'll just go in the woods in the rain. That'd be fun.
I like that.
And not have to worry about getting wet, just like float through it.
Yeah. Gosh, I don't know what I would do. Like I feel like the first time it'd be so surreal to me that I would remain in my like apartment.
Sure.
Until then, just so like I can like be sure that I can get back.
What if you don't get back?
Mhm.
Right.
Like if I just die, like fuck, that'd be wackest way to die.
Yeah, just feel out the waters.
Actually, no, that'd be a really cool way to die.
I agree.
But man, would everyone be so fucking confused?
That's
he
fair.
just stopped.
Yeah.
That's how Tilda Swinton died in Doctor Strange.
Yeah, pretty much.
Oh yeah, pretty much. I love her character.
Oh
I
my
did
god,
too.
seriously.
Yeah, that's fair. You would that first time, yeah, you'd probably want to be like, all right, let's learn the basics.
Play it safe. Oh, but how pissed would you be if that was the last time?
I wouldn't be pissed at all. Because I'd be like, you know what? At least like I didn't like do something dumb, because like that could have been something bad.
True.
Yeah.
True.
I feel like the panic of it, again, it's like that sensation of like you seeing all that and you feeling all that. And if you are on your own, like playing, you are seeing yourself on the bed.
Yeah.
Like
totally.
that's such a trippy thing to like.
Dude, Tim
imagine.
has said that he experienced that when he did DMT.
Oh wow.
That he would like walked around and was like outside of his body and could like look down at himself.
Yeah, I've heard that about DMT.
See, and that's too wild. I'd be like, okay, let's calm down, because I know I'd be panicking.
That's something.
But I guess if I was
That'd be so
panicking,
gnarly.
I would like lose the meditative state. So maybe I'd be calm enough to be like, all right, let's just get the training wheels going.
Well, luckily, if it's drug induced, you don't need to focus your mind as much.
That's true. But I think I would want it. I think I would want to do it not drug induced. Although it would be cool if it happened drug induced.
Yeah.
I think it'd be cool just to be able to do it on my own time.
Yeah.
Rather than like needing a drug to get there. Because what if it's so dope that like I always want to do it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
You know,
It's like a video game.
Yeah, I fully support that. I think if I were to astral project, barring safety, I think I would go and walk underwater. Like, I wonder if you could walk along like the bottom of a river.
Yeah.
That would be sweet.
And like experience it. I feel like that would just be really like to walk along the bottom of a body of water is such a like dream state experience.
Yeah, I want to do more shit in the water. Not like me personally. I want like scientists to do more shit in the water.
There's a lot to learn out there.
Yeah, I can't believe how little we know about the ocean. Did you guys see that cool TikTok of like the giant skeleton that they found at like a newly discovered deep point in the ocean?
No.
It's like hundreds of feet long. I don't remember how big it actually was, but it like goes on for a long time, and it's just the vertebrae. And when they like go to like touch one of the like spines, it like dissolves.
Whoa.
Just like millions of years old. Like this ginormous sea creature.
Do they think it's a whale?
They don't.
That is insane. To think that it's like hundreds of feet long and it might be a snake.
Yeah.
That is so
How scary is that?
goddamn cool.
They look like teeth.
It's like the Anaconda movie.
Yeah, but real.
But real. And Ice Cube isn't going to go check it out.
And pause for room tone. My name is Austin Swain. I'm an animator and video production specialist working in commercial advertising. And today I brought in the origin of the dramatic principle known as Chekhov's gun. Which I wasn't sure what the origin was going to be. When I looked it up, I thought it might be like an old movie that was like directed by a guy named Chekhov or something. And everyone's like, wow, he really demonstrated a good principle here.
That really made me check off.
Check that off the list. But
I checked off so hard to that thing. Sorry, go on.
A man named Anton Chekhov would write letters to young playwrights. And in those letters, he'd be giving them advice on writing. Kind of an anticlimactic answer as far as where this principle of writing came from, but I guess it had to come from a teacher of some kind. But the principle, as basically stated, says, if you say in the first chapter that there's a rifle hanging on the wall, in the second or third chapter, it absolutely must go off. Basically saying, if you put something in front of your audience and you spend the time to get them to look at it, make sure it matters.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Cut out the details that aren't going to matter to your story. And we had a conversation about that kind of at the end of the last episode.
We did. Thank you, Swain. That was a wonderful fun fact.
That was a great fun fact.
I had fun.
After the first part of that, I was like, what does this have to do with a gun? And then it all came full circle.
Boom, baby.
Interesting.
By the way, I think we actually talked about that not on the last podcast, but
during our
meeting.
Script writing session.
Well, I brought it up twice.
Okay.
Because I'm super annoying.
He really wants to talk about it.
Guys,
Chekhov's gun, guys.
I just want to check off to you.
Oh my God, you should have heard him the other day talking about Max from Stranger Things.
Shut the fuck up.
What did you say about Max from Stranger Things?
Okay.
It's funny.
Maddie's just so mad that Max is alive.
Why?
I think it just would have been more impactful if she died.
Fair.
But I think, people died. And I think that marring a character is different than killing them, and you can tell a different story in that way. So I look forward to having like a blind lady, maybe she's got a cool limp, like especially if season 5 is like post-apocalyptic. I just like picturing her like crawling out of a hole and she's blind.
What the fuck? You imagine this little girl crawling out of a hole blind.
Little girl is a little rash. She's like 19.
My bad.
Yeah,
you expect this young lady, you want to see this young lady crawl from a hole.
That would be cool.
Yeah, it's blind and with a bum leg.
Yeah, that's a cool character.
Fair.
That's cooler character than like, well, she's dead.
That's fair. It sounds like an Oracle type.
Yeah, dude. Like I love badass blind people.
Yeah,
like,
maybe she's the only person to survive Vecna doing that to her.
No.
So maybe she'll have like a special link.
I'm so sorry. I said no in such the douchey way. No.
No.
Actually.
Victor Creel also survived.
Oh, the dad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's the one who was in prison, right?
Yeah, Vecna's dad.
Yeah.
But he didn't get all he didn't get all fucked up though.
Maybe blind.
By the way, before we forget, I'm going to say that's a douche jar on my end.
Yeah.
That's a total douche jar.
Yeah. Don't be calling bitches out. No. Self-jar.
I'll self-jar that bitch.
That's fair. Ding, 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 ding.
Finally.
Yeah.
All right, who are you people?
My name is Maddie, and I got to do one of my favorite things this weekend, which is eat like real, authentic, good as shit cheese curds.
Oh, fuck yeah.
Hell yeah.
Oh, and they were scrumptious. You guys, they were very good.
They were damn good. Would you present to us why you love cheese curds?
Oh my God, I don't even know how to describe it. They're just perfect. Like, they're the best taste I can imagine. Like, if there's an option for cheese curds, there's literally no reason I need to eat anything
Tell me
else.
about the texture.
It varies. Sometimes it's soft and melty. Sometimes it's rubbery and squeaky. Sometimes it just, peels almost. And, the crunchy exterior and the warm middle. Oh.
And tell me about the smell.
Why is he doing this to me and then doesn't have cheese curds for me?
Oh, shit.
This is like asking someone who smokes to like describe what it feels like to smoke cigarettes.
Okay.
And they're like, man, I really need a fucking cheese curd right now.
I'm so sorry. I did not mean to torture you. I just wanted to indulge you.
You have to go and get your cheese curds now. No, come on.
You were like, yeah, what does it smell like?
God, I didn't know you like edging your wife like that, dude.
But yeah, they were very good.
Are they greasy?
Be good to your spouses.
Yeah.
Get them cheese curds.
Yeah, tempt them with cheese curds and then don't give them any.
I bought you cheese curds. Oh, you
I bought myself cheese curds, ho.
Because you are a strong, independent woman who
I'll
don't need
let
no
him
man.
pay for shit for me all the time.
Good.
I love my women docile.
Yeah.
Happy wife, happy life.
Submissive and breedable.
Oh no.
Keep
You?
that in.
No, yeah, that's me.
Yeah.
My name's Austin Arpeza. I'm an amateur videographer, and here's my review for Thor: Love and Thunder. Spoiler free, I will mind you.
Ooh, extra juicy.
No, it's not.
Light on juicy.
There we go. It's light, no pulp.
There's no fucking sauce on this sandwich.
Are you ready for a sauceless review? Hit us.
Okay, I'm really glad we had that hype up.
It's dry.
So I guess my initial impressions were I was a little disappointed, and maybe that's like no fault to the movie and more so just for like my admiration towards Taika Waititi and his films.
Sure.
Or movies for the layman.
Jar. Ding, 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 ding.
Get him.
I gotta catch up to Swain.
Yeah.
Yeah, try me.
I can outdouche both of you guys.
With my eyes closed.
But no, yeah, I was, it just felt silly the entire time. So yeah, I felt like there were never really any like stakes. Like I didn't feel like there were stakes.
Okay.
Although there were. Like I think the better way to say it is I feel like the stakes weren't high. Because everything was really silly. Everything was just like jokey, which I'm fine with.
Yeah.
I love Thor Ragnarok. That was my shit. But like they were able to like bring in those emotional beats to really improve the movie and to kind of give a sense of weight to the protagonist's like goals.
Sure. Yeah.
And like they can do it tastefully, you know?
Right.
And this one just kind of felt jokey throughout the entire movie. Which I enjoyed it. I had a good time watching it. I don't regret like paying a ticket for it or anything like that. I think I was just a little let down.
Sure.
And you know, I'm still gonna go see his like next 12 things that he makes.
Right.
So like,
I am proud of you for being able to admit that you like didn't really like it, even though you love him.
yeah,
That's
yeah.
like a very unbiased opinion.
Yeah.
And I love
Fully
it.
support it.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm able to do that at least a little bit better.
Yeah.
I know I did have biases. Like Bottle Rocket, like Wes Anderson's first movie. Fucking hate it. Oh my god, I still own it.
Yeah.
I still have it on Criterion.
Sure. Yeah.
Hate it. Do
That's
not
fair.
like it.
Yeah. I
Maybe
mean,
I'll need
they
to
can't
watch
all
it.
be perfect.
I agree.
Especially the first one.
Yeah.
And maybe I'll need to watch it again. Whatever. I didn't like it.
Yeah. Do you think that it was like Taika's decision or like the studio's decision to make it fun, like jokey?
I feel like the studio gave him free reign on a lot of things because of how successful Ragnarok has been,
Right.
how successful the character Korg has been. Because, you know, that's toys, that's merchandising, you know?
Yeah, totally.
Right.
And that's what it's all about.
Mhm.
But like, so you think it was more of Taika's
I think it was-
fault, for lack of a better term?
I wouldn't say it's his fault, but
Decision.
like it
Decision,
was his
yeah.
it was his decision to go on, and like I respect it. He did an interview and he talked about it a bit, and he said like I just wanted to tell a story about love, and that's what I did, and like true, he did.
Do you think he accomplished that?
I think he accomplished that. Yes, I do think he accomplished that, but I think it could have been better. I think it could have been way better.
What would you have changed about his love story?
I think one, just kind of getting to know the characters a little bit more. The characters could have been fleshed out a little bit better, and I just really wish it had the same emotional beats as Thor Ragnarok. Not necessarily the same, but like had the vibe of emotional beats like Thor Ragnarok.
For sure.
Because that's what I love about Taika Waititi's movies is like like the worst thing can happen, tragedy, and he makes it a little bit better because there's always like a little sense of hope.
Yeah.
And that's what I really like.
I don't think I'm gonna watch it.
That's fair. I know you hopped off the Thor
Yeah.
bandwagon after Ragnarok.
I think I'm done with Marvel altogether.
That's
I think
valid.
I might have hit that wall. Like, now that I've always kind of said once Endgame was over, I didn't care.
Yeah, and you've definitely stuck to that. And I feel really no reason to like go back.
Right?
Like I'll watch a movie when it's on, but I feel no drive to chase it out because I'm always disappointed.
I wonder if a lot of people are feeling that.
I kind of think they are.
I think so too.
I wouldn't be surprised.
The last few movies that Marvel's released have not been doing the best. And a lot of it I think is because like phase 4 is similar to like phase 2 was, and that's like exposition, setting up like a ton of shit.
That's fair.
For like a greater purpose. Like Marvel films almost can't be seen as like individual movies. They have to be seen as like one phase being an entire like act.
Right. They're like almost like a TV show. Like it's like an anthology.
Yeah. So like 1 was great because like, it's like, ooh, 1.
Where did 1 end?
1 ended with the Avengers.
Okay.
Yep. And then phase 2 started with Iron Man 3, which was exposition. Like it was like setting up his like character growth, his character arc. And like that was pretty much all the movies. There were still some good ones in there, especially a lot of like introductory like movies like Guardians of the Galaxy came out.
Right.
And I liked Thor too.
Yeah. A lot of people didn't like that movie.
I know, but I did.
Yeah.
Because it like was actually kind of brutal.
Yeah. Phase 2 was set up, and then phase 3 was climax or was resolution, because like a lot of those things started getting resolved.
And then so the end of phase 3 was like Endgame and all that.
But like now we don't have that like phase 1 anymore because we're going into more exposition.
Yeah,
because we're telling like a difference. Now we're telling like another
we already
story.
know all these characters.
Yeah.
Well, and it's like, oh my god, I like just went through so much. Like, do we really need more? Like, I just don't care at all about the next superhero movie.
That's fair.
And I feel like a lot of people are probably like, dude,
we did it.
We reached the end. Like, let's just quit while we're ahead.
I will say though, they have been introducing like a lot of like players.
Oh yeah, I'm
like,
sure they
but that's
have.
fucking annoying. Like, I don't need to know that many characters.
Yeah, there's a reason a story has 3 parts. Like we all had closure.
Yeah.
Right, exactly.
We were all ready for Endgame to be like the last.
Yeah.
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 And like, I'm never going to be that attached to whatever these new characters are. Like, there's always going to be the original, like, to at least me, like, it's always going to be like the original set of Avengers.
Yeah.
And like, it doesn't even fucking matter after that.
That's fair. That's very fair.
And they are just getting so sidelined.
Yeah.
Like the original Avengers are out of the picture.
Yeah, not even a part of it.
I agree. I'm also kind of falling off that wagon. Although, like, again, I like going to like Marvel movies because I like hearing the nerds scream.
Dude, that's so fair. And like,
you like hearing the nerds cream? Is that what you said?
Scream, but also cream.
Yeah,
because they do that.
But
screaming and creaming,
screaming and cream. The old scream cream parlor.
Which like I love. Like I love that screaming and creaming. I mean, I'm here for nerd culture, and like if people are loving it, like love it. But I'm out.
Just don't talk to me about it.
I will say it hasn't been like that as of late. The last time I heard like cheering was Spider-Man No Way Home.
Oh yeah.
But I think that was mostly because of nostalgia.
And that movie was fully nostalgic.
Oh god, yeah. And it slapped though. It was
would say really well done.
Yeah. Oh god, yeah.
Well, that's good because Multiverse of Madness was bad.
It was.
That's so sad.
Did you watch it on streaming?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Like it sucked because I don't know.
I'm going to take a stand and say that Sam Raimi sucks.
I don't think Sam Raimi sucks. I love Sam Raimi.
I think Sam Raimi sucks.
What else has he done?
Spider-Man.
Oh, I know that.
Spider-Man.
I know that.
He's done The Evil Dead.
Yeah.
He did the original Evil Dead.
Yeah.
Wow. I did not know that.
Yeah.
He's not my style.
That's fair. Yeah, we all got styles.
And the lighting was bad. End of rant.
Fair. Also, one more thing about Thor Love and Thunder before we get off this tangent. I felt like everything was very CGI, and that made me sad because, like, don't get me wrong, CGI is dope, and I know it's like the future of filmmaking. I'm for it. Whatever, but like there are ways to like be able to make something cool, incorporating some sort of world. You know?
Yeah, and some sort of practical effect.
Yeah, some sort of reality.
Something real.
Yeah.
And that's like a hard line to draw because like Endgame was probably 90% all computer generated.
Yeah.
Like it's an animated movie. It
Yeah.
truly is.
Yeah.
But when the CGI is bad and
That's
it's like
the problem.
it's distracting enough for you to be like, oh, that looks fake.
Mm-hmm.
That's when it pulls you out of the story.
Yeah.
And
Totally.
yeah, it's really unfortunate to see that happen.
Yeah, like that's when we were hanging out today, we had Guardians of the Galaxy 2 on in the background, and I was like telling him after I watched Multiverse of Madness how much I hated it and how like bad it looked, like how bad the CGI looked. And then like today when we were watching Guardians of the Galaxy, which was made like 5 years earlier, like it looked so much better than it did in Multiverse of Madness. And it's just like, yeah, how are you guys going backwards in goodness? Maybe we just need to, take a step back, go back to some practical, because maybe we're all just getting too used to it or something. I don't know.
Yeah, Disney just needs to take a fucking breather.
Yeah,
Dude,
just sit down for a second.
This whole world is only about money, and it's so irritating.
Yeah, totally.
Because at what point is it like, is it enough? Like, we're good.
Yeah.
Whatever. We're
Me
there.
and my socialist
It's enough.
ideas.
So what are we doing today?
So, I was thinking about the entrance scene when David and Zoe come in to the house before introductions.
Yeah.
You know how they enter the foyer? And,
Yes.
And then they see the family room. We see Carol going to her chair.
Yes.
I want to pitch that it is Nicole who walks in from like the kitchen or from like off camera, walks into the scene with like the lazy Susan of like snacks.
Mm-hmm.
And we hear Carol say like, "Oh, Nicole, did you really wear that blouse like right now?" Or something like conniving or whatever. Something that like, not conniving, something that's
Snide.
insulting.
Yeah.
Yep. Which will give an opportunity for Zoe to counteract that with a compliment of saying like, "What? Oh no, I actually think that looks really nice." And then that's where Nicole is like, "I'm going to talk to you. You gave me a compliment." So kind of like sealing her fate
Yeah, that's
Right.
in that
fair.
regard.
Right. I think giving Nicole a reason to latch onto Zoe, like a more tangible reason,
Mhm.
makes sense.
Yeah.
I feel like it could be kind of in the background. Like it should still be in like David and Zoe's scene. They should be like the spotlight, I think.
It sort of is. I imagine this in this way, where we see David and Zoe walking towards the family room. We cut over to the family in the family room. We stay on that shot. Nicole comes from camera. Carol gives snide comment. We cut back to Zoe and David. Zoe, actually, blah, 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 compliment. And then we cut to Nicole, just kind of
Yeah. Reaction
smiling.
shot.
Yeah, just a
Mhm.
reaction shot. And then we go back to David and Zoe, and we're there. And then Zoe's like, "Yo, give me the laydown."
Yeah.
I'm for it. I can see that sequence in my head.
Yeah.
And I'd be down to try it out.
Yeah.
Like my main hesitation is like the pacing as far as, okay, we've just met all of these people and already we're like starting to draw connections before we know who any of them are. But maybe there's like a different place to put it, like right after the introductions or something like that. But there's also like a whole kind of conversation between David and Zoe before that. So maybe the pacing is a little looser than like is in my head right now.
Mhm.
I can totally see that.
Yeah.
I see a good reason for that to happen.
Yeah, just so we can get that connection. That's just my thought.
Right. Yeah.
And that brings us perfectly into the concept of Chekhov's gun. Because we already have Nicole grabbing Zoe, and that's a little bit of the gun going off. So earlier in the film, we should probably show the gun so that the audience knows
Nicole is the gun.
Nicole is the gun. and
She's gonna go off.
and she's gonna shoot somebody.
During our script writing session that we did yesterday, we decided to kind of break down each scene in the setup and payoff within that scene. So we broke down the conversation between Donnie and David, Zoe, Nicole, Lonnie and Johnny, and David and Carol.
Yeah. I mean, the main concept behind Chekhov's gun is like, if it doesn't matter, get it out.
Mhm.
So we basically went through each of these interactions and made sure that they mattered, like made sure that we're either setting something up or paying something off in each of these times. Otherwise, we're just wasting time.
Yep.
So we started with Donnie and David, and we basically wrote that their beginning state is that they're never on the same page. They have this tension between the two of them that they're always kind of butting heads. And then the payoff of that later on, when they're burying their dearly departed father, is that they like finally share that moment of like understanding with each other, and they could start to rekindle if they so desired.
Yeah. Yeah. And we had talked about like actually writing that in as dialogue, you know, not those words exactly, but like in that first conversation with them have that like wall between them, like have not a shred of respect between them. And then Austin, you pitched a line for when they're digging the hole, and and we resolve this respect.
We resolve this respect by Donnie giving a compliment to David's hole that he dug for his father by saying, "Nice hole."
I think he should say "nice hole, bro."
Nice hole, bro.
Personally,
yeah. So I mean, at the beginning of the story, there's no respect between these people, and then later when they're burying their dead father, I love the way you pitched it as like Donnie just standing out, like chest puffed, hands on his hips, like, "Hey, nice hole, bro."
With a shirt off too.
Oh, of course,
like,
shirt off too.
with like the headlights behind him, all angelic.
Yeah.
Which I also pitched that David's the only one digging the hole, and he also has his shirt off, and he looks up at Donnie and he's like, thanks. Why is your shirt off?
keep digging.
I think we all kind of like said like, oh, I just want to show you what a god looks like, or something stupid like that.
Why wouldn't I have my shirt on? Check
It just
me out.
feels like the right time.
It felt right.
Oh, and that's kind of symbolic because the polo.
Polo has come off.
The polo is
off.
the
That's
family,
fair.
the like deep-rooted family tradition.
Yeah.
And it's gone.
I think it's fun. Yes, I agree. I think the polo is a great symbolism. I think that is funniest if we cut after David says, "Why do you have your shirt off?" Like, I think that's like where that joke naturally ends.
Yeah.
That's so fair.
Like, I
That's
don't
fair.
think Donnie needs to explain or like have a retort or anything. Like, I think that's just like the joke.
Would you be opposed to like cutting back to Donnie and just him just like laughing like, oh,
Maybe, I don't know.
like how weird would that be? He's like, what?
Yeah, that would be pretty weird.
We'll see how it shakes out.
Yeah.
And then we went on to talk about Zoe and Nicole.
More chipper, more.
And then we went on to talk about Zoe and Nicole.
Can I get Jamaican?
Oh my God.
I would rather I didn't. I could do it, mind you.
So we wanted to kind of pepper in their early interaction that Zoe doesn't like death. And then when she sees the dead man show up at the table, that's her like cue to leave. That's her final straw. That's already been mentioned as something that she's not comfortable with. And then it just like comes at her full force.
Yeah, and I think even beyond that, we talked about potentially, we haven't really like fully landed on this yet, but even making the fact that she leaves the dinner matter. Like that's another kind of like reference to the gun. She leaves the dinner, but why? So like we talked about maybe having some sort of like a hang up with David as far as, oh, Zoe's my found family. I need her for her support. And then when she leaves, that kind of then brings him back to being able to rely on and like trust his family to help him get through like this thing.
Mm-hmm.
So something kind of along those lines as far as.
Yeah, her leaving is more of a middle ground for David's story, honestly.
Right.
Yeah.
And then the kind of setup and payoff that we talked about for Nicole in this scenario is my favorite because through a lot of this process, we were looking at where does the gun go off? We have the gun, we have the setup. Where does it go off? Where does this pay off? How do we reward the audience? But for Nicole's story, I think we realized, the gun's already gone off. Ronnie's dead.
Mm-hmm.
Nicole's killed Ronnie. So how do we set that up? And so we talked about, I think we're going to look at changing the story up just a little bit to like draw in the mystery of no one knows how Ronnie died, which brings us up to then later, like we can slow burn Nicole's craziness into revealing and unwinding the mystery of how Ronnie died.
Yeah, so we would no longer play her in the beginning as like, oh, everyone knows that she's trying to kill Donnie besides Donnie. And more of like, she's just weird. She's just odd. An odd little nut. What we want to do is we want the audience to feel sympathetic for her. We want them to feel almost sorry for her until the reveal happens that she killed Ronnie to shoot the gun.
And it kind of comes back to in one of our earliest episodes, we brought in a scene from Meet the Parents. It's the dinner scene where they milk the cats, but there's a section where Ben Stiller goes into the kitchen to like grab another bottle of wine and he just loses his mind. Like he just has like this whole inner monologue and like breaks down that barrier. And I'd kind of said in that episode, like you see them all like wearing the mask of like civility at the dinner table and then they walk away and they're a completely different person. They're themselves. And I've always wanted to like bring in that aspect of revealing their true selves. So I love the idea we talked about off show was like Nicole is like the pitiful housewife in front of everybody, but when she's alone in the kitchen with Zoe,
she's a little bit more nutty.
That's when the nuts come out.
And I think we kind of mentioned and I think we kind of also mentioned like them saying it more as a joke. Like I still think it's a funny line to have David say, we kind of think she's trying to kill her husband. Like something like not serious and then have it turn out that like, oh no, she's actually trying to kill her husband.
You're right. I forgot about that.
I think that makes it funnier.
Yeah, it's almost foreshadowing.
Right.
I'm here for it.
Yeah.
If they're just like so dismissive of it.
Yeah.
And then she killed their father. That's super funny.
You thought she was harmless.
Yeah.
There goes the king.
And then we talked about Lonnie and Johnny's conversation, and we wanted to figure out like what exactly Lonnie wants. And I think we were able to boil it down in a pretty good way. Yes, she may say no every time you invite her to the party, but she wants to be invited.
She still likes to be asked.
Yeah. So we have her kind of revealing that she wants to be recognized in the family with the conversation with Johnny. And then the resolution that we thought would be really good would be Donnie during the burial scene. He asked Lonnie if she'd like to kick in the body in the hole as like the final part of their ceremony. And we haven't determined yet, or at least I don't believe we have, whether it'd be funny if she would just like do it, like just do a badass kick, whatever, or if she was just like, no, no, thank you.
Maybe she'd go, no, but thank you for asking.
Yeah, exactly. Yep.
You can do it, big bro.
Yeah.
I also kind of want her to kick in the body, though.
I'm actually leaning more towards kicking the body because it's almost like kind of a cheat resolution.
And I feel like we don't necessarily see exactly who kicks it in, because when the body falls, we're on that, like, from the body's point of view shot.
Right.
So, like, he could say, here, you want to kick in the body, and then we don't need to, like, show her actually doing it. It's just, like, implied.
Yeah.
And then they all come into frame.
Mm-hmm.
Totally.
Yeah. I think that gives her depth, I guess.
Yeah.
God, I know I've said this before, but I'm really loving how, like, this short film has been like molding like clay, and like we're just like roughing out the finer details. Like I'm really enjoying this with you guys.
Completely. Like it's kind of less about let's make a movie, and it's more of like a study on how is a movie made.
Yeah.
It's been fun.
It really has been. And I hope you guys have been having fun too.
It's a journey, y'all.
Maddie, would you mind reading us Johnny's?
Yeah, we decided Johnny's just funny.
Moving on.
He's just meant to be the comic relief.
He's just comic relief. Like, I just think he's a funny little guy to have in the house, and I don't think he needs to matter, and I think that him being stoned will be a nice joke, and I think that that's all we need from him.
And I feel like even if like we did wanted to add something, it would just be like Lonnie saying, cool kid, or whatever, something stupid like that. I don't know.
Yeah.
And I'm not even saying we do that. I'm just saying like
Like, even if
For
he
any
has
reason.
like a moment, it needs to be like with someone else.
Yeah.
Like, he never like has a moment to shine.
Yeah, so that's Johnny's. Do we have anything else to say about that?
Nope.
Cool.
Fuck Johnny.
So now we're moving on to David and Carol's conversation. And what we wanted to set up for Carol is her kind of hinting at Ronnie's shittiness throughout. Like, we were thinking about kind of making a conversation for David where like he talks about his dad in some sort of way and Carol just kind of scoffs or like says something that makes David feel like he is the bad one in that story, but in reality she's talking about the Ronnie.
Yeah, like David kind of says like, "Ah, man, like I'm really missing dad," or something like that. And then her scoff could be perceived as like, "Oh, what a pussy, misses his dad," or something like that. But but what the audience learns is really, he really shouldn't be missing him because he was kind of an asshole.
Yeah. Something
yeah,
subtle.
we as an audience take off the rose-colored glasses of Ronnie with the characters.
Yeah, absolutely. And on top of that, from David's point of view, his is simple. I mean, David's story arc is simple. He basically just kind of starts on the outside, ends up on the inside. And so we kind of talked about like his setup is simply him making an effort to have a conversation with his mother. I mean, he ends up kind of walking in on her, smoking her cigarette. She ends up being pretty distant and quiet, but he's the one who's there kind of making an effort to just talk to her. And so it shows his, even if it's subconscious, his desire to be a part of this family. And by the end of it, he's getting compliments on how good his hole is. He's dragging bodies across the field. He's part of it, motherfuckers.
Hell yeah.
And he gets his comeuppance in a good way.
And he comes on his muffins.
Come up, mins.
Come up, man. Come up, man.
So yeah, that's what we did yesterday.
So with all of this in mind, how are you guys like feeling about the story? I feel like with some of these setups and payoffs, like it's starting to feel a little bit more cohesive. Like each of the pieces are a little bit more connected and a little bit more meaningful.
Yeah, I'm really enjoying it. Kind of like I said earlier, it feels like we're molding this story so much like clay, and like we have like, you know, this rough base at first, and now we're going to the finer details. I also really enjoy like the fact that we can go back on like things that we've like made decisions on and kind of reevaluate and question whether or not like this is like the right path to go on, or if like it makes sense. Like it feels like the more we push forward, the more we are able to go back and say, oh, hey, we can foreshadow this, we can do this, we can do this. Like, you know, like the ending for example, like we said like, yep, they just push him in the hole and we're done. But now we have like more layers to it where it's like, okay, hold on.
But who pushes him into the hole?
Let's have the resolution. Why, you know, like I was imagining everyone was clothed. Now we have two shirtless dudes.
Yeah.
Like,
and how good of a hole is it?
Yeah.
It's a good hole.
See, that just proves that like the last 20 episodes where we've gone, yeah, we'll figure that out later.
Here we are.
You figure it out later.
Yeah.
You literally do.
Yep. It's cool because you say that we're like potters, like we're working with the clay, and it's cool that, and you kind of just said it, like not only are we potters, we're time traveling potters.
Explain that to me.
If we take this story and, you know, we're molding it like clay, like you say, a lot of like the conversation that we were just having about the setups and payoffs, like sometimes you find the payoff, like the fact that Ronnie's dead. And so you're almost looking at your ball of clay or your creation of clay, and you're like, oh, how did this get here?
Yeah.
And now you can like go back in time and be like, aha, this is how it got there. Like, let's do a little bit of setup, and now, boom, now it has a place.
I think we all get a little token in the douche jar today.
Why? Because I yawned?
No. Just like all of our like
We've just
explorations of like, oh, it's like molding clay.
Oh, I didn't say that.
Austin, you and me, baby.
We're putting a coin in.
Yeah, you two can have one.
Been perfectly douchey today.
Yeah.
I feel clean.
I feel
I feel freshly scented.
I feel well douched.
and my pH balance is on point.
Ask my doctor.
But first, pause for room tone.